All right, everybody, I want to welcome you out to our Volusion training. Today, we are discussing something in particular that I bet a lot of you guys have seen, but we just haven't done anything with. And that is this section right down here. Let me scroll down to the bottom in the footer area. On most Volusion sites, you'll actually find this in the footer area. And let me just circle it for you so you all know what I'm talking about. It's this right here. How many of you who have Volusion sites right now have actually seen the mailing list section in your footer? Or have maybe just wondered what we're going to do with it? Because most of you, whether you're designing it yourself or you had somebody design it for you, you'll have a mailing list sign up section in the footer section. How many of you guys would say that's true? Yeah, most of you. Christina, you've got it. Cindy, James, you've got it for sure. Most of you will. And what you'll notice about it is it's not really discussed a lot right off the bat because it doesn't really matter much until you're getting traffic anyway. So you'll find that a lot of you guys, when you're first setting up your site, it'll get put there, but it won't be discussed just because it's something for later. I want to talk to you guys about it just briefly today so you understand why it's there, how it works, how to edit it, and what to do with it in the future. Okay. So, first of all, I think almost any Volusion template has it. So I'm just using it on this template. Yours should. It's there for what, guys? Why do we have a mailing list sign up? What's the purpose behind having something like this? Well, you guys know as well as I do, email marketing is pretty effective, isn't it? I can't remember the statistic. I've given it before, but it's not in front of me, so I'm not going to try to guess at it. But it's something like the average person checks their email like close to 10 times a day. And so it is easily one of the most effective ways to constantly monitor and check in on your customers or people who have signed up. So it's a hugely advantageous marketing tool. Now, there's different ways to go about collecting email addresses, and this little option in the footer here isn't the only way we would do it. But this isn't really a marketing conversation that we're going to have today. I want to show you how to use the form that already exists here on your website. The one thing you'll notice about it that I'm going to help you guys change here in a bit is how motivated would you be just to simply, if you were looking at a website like this, how motivated would you be just to hand over your email based on what you see here? I certainly wouldn't be overly motivated. In fact, it's all it says is mailing list sign up. And it's like, okay, well, what am I getting exactly? What am I signing up for? Do I get anything for signing up, right? It's kind of generic looking, and I'll show you guys how to fix that here in just a minute. We need a bit more of a strong call to action or a stronger call to action on our little form. But in theory, it should work all the same. If I came down here as a customer and I'm like, hey, I want to join the mailing list. I'll tell you what, let me log out of this account so it looks like it would for a customer. Okay, I come down here and I would say, okay, well, here's my email. Right, put in a email account and hit submit. Now what it'll do is it'll take me to this page. And immediately, once I've done that, it'll say, thanks again. We look forward to providing you with value-packed newsletters, information, and special offers just for you. That right there is just fine. There's a way to edit that message if you want. And then you get this little notification box that says, thank you, been added to our database of email subscribers. Now, I could come in here and I could put in my first name and I could put in some other email. Right, and I could subscribe this way as well. Add me to the mailing list, and that could work as well. Okay, so it does work. The functionality should work okay. Once I've signed up, here's what happens. If I log in as the administrator of this site, I can monitor who my people are who have signed up. And you do that through going to customers and then accounts. Okay. So right here where I am, customers, you go to accounts, and you're going to notice here some signups. Okay. Here's the one I just signed up for. I did the test Gmail. I also signed up here. So you can sign up in two ways. You can sign up directly from the footer, or you can go from the footer and then sign up again through that secondary page. It works both ways. I don't know why I guess they have a secondary page so they can explain more about it. But those signups will always go here. Now, what's interesting is if I click on this ID right here, so I'll click on ID 7, and I scroll down, I can tell it was a email subscriber because this is checked. Okay. That's how I know they've subscribed. See, not everybody in that list that I was just looking at are going to be subscribers to my email. Some are just going to be customers. Some are just users on the site. But if you want to make sure you've got an actual subscriber, you have to come and look right there under this optional fields section. Okay. If that's checked, you might have a separate list of email subscribers that you keep outside of the site. And that's actually what I do. Volusion has the capability of actually sending out newsletters to these people. In fact, most of you guys may or may not have noticed this. I'm not going to show it to you right now, but under marketing, there's a newsletter section right here. And you can actually send out newsletters right from Volusion. Volusion is not a great newsletter tool. It would work, but rather I will take all of my email addresses that I'm collecting out of Volusion, and I actually will add them to a MailChimp account. MailChimp.com. It's totally free. It can manage all of your subscribed email users, and you can use MailChimp to manage your newsletters, and it does a far better job. So, does that make sense? Like, use Volusion as an acquisition tool, but don't necessarily send your newsletters from Volusion. Send it from MailChimp, okay? Let me go back to this list just one more time. Remember, you find it within customers and accounts. And there's our list. And I showed you just barely how you know it's an email subscriber. You simply click on the ID. In this case, I'll click on number 6. And then I can scroll down and I can look right there on my screen. Email subscriber is checked. Now I could uncheck that. If somebody wants to unsubscribe, you could uncheck that. And then they wouldn't be an email subscriber. Okay? Pretty easy, right? Questions about that, guys, or is that pretty straightforward for the most part? Okay, good. I do not, Robert. I actually don't use them. Oh, you're using MailChimp at your job, Kirk? I'm not surprised. MailChimp is by far one of the very best when it comes to email management and marketing. Okay, so far, guys, this should have been pretty straightforward so far. We've simply just established that most Volusion sites will have this little email sign up. And we put it on there because it should be there. And you'll notice, I think, what site was I looking at the other day? It might have been Gap. Yeah, I mean, notice Gap's real quick. This is in Gap's footer, by the way. So they're employing the same strategy. But notice what they do that we're not doing. What's the difference between Gap's email subscribe and our email subscribe? They actually offer something, right? Sign up for email and get 25% off. Do I want to sign up for their email now? Yeah, it's not just like sign up for our newsletter or email. That's what ours is like right now. We need to actually give away something to get people to sign up. These days, people just don't give away their stuff for free, right? If I'm going to give you my email, I want something in return. So tell me what I'm going to get. So anyway, I show you gaps for two reasons. One, notice the location of gaps. Gaps is in their footer, just like ours is. Here's Gap's homepage. If I have to scroll down on their page, it's all the way down here in their footer. I think the footer is the right place for it. Okay. Knowing that, let me show you how to edit this. Now, if you're in the edit mode on your Volusion, you'll notice sometimes when you put your mouse over things, you get one of those little blue edit boxes. And if you come up and hit the edit box, a lot of times you can come in here and actually type, right? So I could come right in here and type mailing list sign up today for whatever, 25% off your next order, right? Doesn't that look better? Like, doesn't that give me a reason to actually want to put my email in there? Or you don't even have to give something away. You could just say mailing sign up. You could tell a little more about it. We send out weekly specials. Don't miss out, right? There's a reason to maybe give us the email. Bottom line is, guys, the only thing I really feel like you should all edit right now on this is just this little bit of text. Leave everything else the same. Just edit the text. And we'll leave this at that. Okay, so that's one way you can edit the text right there. If you can't get the little blue box, let me show you one other way to do it. I'm going to log in to my backend here for just a second. I'm going to go to design and then file editor. This is the more advanced way. If you're not sure about HTML or code, I don't know if I would do it this way, but let me just show you anyway. Design, file editor, and then you're going to click on this one right here. Okay, let me actually try that again. That was a bad circle. There we go. That one wasn't much better. My mouse keeps bumping up against something, but you get the point. That's the one right there that you want to click on. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to bring up the coding of the entire, really of the entire homepage, but especially different areas of the site. And you'll notice there's a lot of code. If I scroll here, I can scroll through line after line after line of code that makes up the site. Well, I think I've taught you guys this trick before, but if you do a control find, if you're in Google Chrome, you get this little find box right up here. So I just hit control find and I got this. Okay, you guys see that? And so I'm going to type in, let's try mail. And if I type in mail, it actually takes me to that section that talks about my mailing list sign up. And here it is. That's the text that I just typed in. So you could go in directly through the code and manipulate it a little bit if you wanted to. Can I just advise you, most of you guys, there's probably not a reason to come here unless you want to do some advanced stuff or a little bit of coding. My recommendation is do what I showed you before I showed you this. Just put it in using the little blue edit box. You can always edit through the code, but I don't think most of you guys are really equipped to want to do that. Some of you guys are, which is why I want to share it with you. Okay, so that's where you find it. So that's it, guys. I want to show you how that works. Let me save this. I just can't emphasize enough how important email marketing is. This is a Volusion training, and so we don't usually get into too much detail when it comes to marketing within these Volusion trainings. There's another time and a place for that. For me, it's on Thursdays. So if you guys are around and you want to learn more about email marketing and other marketing topics, come out on Thursdays. But I got to tell you, it is probably one of the most powerful things you'll ever do. If you can actually build a legitimate list of customers, your conversion rates off of emails are just through the roof good. I mean, just some of your highest conversion rates. I mean, you send out 100 emails to real legitimate customers that are interested in your products. I mean, you might get a response of 20% or more. Um, I mean, that's a pretty significant difference as opposed to having somebody just simply find you through Google when your conversion rate is only around 2%. It's a tenth of that. Email marketing is powerful. Suffice it to say, it doesn't really make a difference when your site is brand new because you need people on your site to get signups. It's more of a tool you use to capitalize on existing traffic. And so you guys know and can improve the messaging here, I wanted to have this webinar today so that you guys can do that. So does that make sense, guys? Do you guys have any questions about that, or was that pretty straightforward? I suppose in another training we can look at the newsletter functionality and stuff, but I thought I'd at least just show you kind of how that worked today. Yeah, that's what I thought. Jeff, to your question, Jeff's got a question just about payment on the site. Um, you get your money through, most of you guys will on your site will set up like a PayPal account, right? So there's a section right here, and this is for Jeff and Janet, right here under payment. So settings and payment. You can come over here to more payment types, and you can actually put in your PayPal address here under standard payments. And so whenever somebody buys something off of the site, all that money that they spend will be directed to your PayPal account, and that's how that's managed. I'm not sure I totally understand your question there, Peter. So going back to customers and then accounts, this is where those emails are coming in. People don't have to give their first and last name to sign up on your email list, and nor should they have to. Um, so that's why right here I just put in my first name. Last name isn't even an option on our email sign up. So I can just get an email address. Now on orders, this would be different. Customer accounts, when somebody actually orders a product, they're actually put here as well. But it'll show their first and their last name, and it'll show a lot more information than this is showing. The blue box actually just appears on its own, Oliver. So if I come down here and I just roll my mouse over these sections, as long as I'm logged into my Volusion account, the blue box just automatically shows up. And if it doesn't show up for you, then go back on the backside through the code like I showed you guys. Well, when an order comes in, Peter, you're going to get an email indicating that an order came in, and then that's going to direct you to that section. So I don't really police that section other than, every once in a while I'll hop in and look for people who have subscribed. Um, Most of you might want to make a habit of it when you're starting to close sales. Check once a week or so and just watch out for new subscribers. No, you'd probably have to keep track of that, Cindy. That's something that's not automated. So if you put, hey, every new subscriber gets 25% off their next purchase, you would probably want to do something where if you got them to sign up, you would send them a coupon code that you create in Volusion that would give them 25% off. Now, we've done a training on coupon codes before, and there's an option within Volusion. You could come over here to marketing and then coupon codes and discounts right here. You could create a 25% off code, and then if somebody subscribes to your list, you could proactively email them and say, hey, thanks for subscribing. By the way, here's your 25% off coupon code. There's also a way through MailChimp that you can create an autoresponder that will automatically do that work for you. But that's probably a discussion for another day. That's what I would do. Oh, good, Peter. Good. I haven't seen anything significant in terms of ones that have a name versus ones that don't. It's always better if you've got a name, of course, because a name makes the email out to that person more personable. I think it helps it not get caught by spam blockers. I think it's always better to have a name than not, for sure. Good comment. Okay, guys. Well, that's all I want to cover today. I want to make sure you guys are okay and understand just how to do the or this little portion of your site. Pretty straightforward. We'll do some more advanced training, more probably on our Thursday series, but we may do some in our Volusion series on Wednesday about how to utilize email marketing a bit more. Hopefully that helped you all, and I will see you guys for some more Volusion training next Wednesday, same time, same place. Thanks again.